Alan Simpson.
Yeah, Alan Simpson, who has been, he's a former senator from Wyoming. He's kind of a funny guy. I read his book, actually. He's a Republican, and he's very much a Republican, but he's very, very good friends with George Bush Sr. And, kind of a blowhard, and said some really sort of incendiary and inflammatory things throughout his Senate campaign, but most recently as the head of the Debt Commission, or one of the heads of the Debt Commission for the president. But, you criticize everyone on the other side all you want, but when they criticize themselves, which is something we want to have happen all the time, which never happens.
Certainly never happens among Republicans.
That's what I'm saying.
Conservative Democrats.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's exactly right. They'll come after Democrats. But I found it so refreshing to hear Alan Simpson criticize.
What was he on? What show was he on?
That's a better question than I'm
one of the shows
capable of answering.
He was on a show.
Yeah, he was on a show, a television show at that.
Governorship there in New Jersey, one in Virginia, by not talking about social issues. Who the hell's for abortion? I don't know anybody running around with a sign that says have an abortion. They're wonderful. They're hideous. But they're a deeply intimate and personal decision, and I don't think men legislators should even vote on the issue. Then you've got homosexuality, you've got don't ask, don't tell. We have homophobes in our party. That's disgusting to me. We're all human beings. We're all God's children. Now, if they're going to get off in that stuff, Santorum has said some cruel things, cruel things about homosexuals. Ask him about it. See if he attributes the cruelness of his remarks years ago foul. Now, if that's the kind of guys that are going to be on my ticket, makes you sort out hard what Reagan said, stick with your folks. But I'm not sticking with people who are homophobic, anti-women, moral values while you're diddling your secretary, while you're giving a speech on moral values. Come on, get off of it.
Well, don't stop.
No,
anyway, I think it's what killed your chance to lead that party, because you talk like that. They don't think like you do.
What show was he on?
Again, I didn't write it down, so I don't know. But I mean, that's really refreshing to hear. I mean, it's addressing the hypocrisy within his own party.
What I think will be interesting is that a guy like Alan Simpson, it will just be Alan Simpson.
Yeah.
When there is a nominee, or when we have a couple of established candidates, will he maintain that criticism? He will if it's Rick Santorum. But if it's Mike Huckabee, or if it's a guy who has been unwilling to sort of take a stand against the sort of platform of sort of harsh social issues, a platform that will include hostility toward gays and hostility toward women who are sort of pro-choice. Yeah. Will he still do that? And my hunch is he won't. I don't know. God bless him if he does, but my hunch is he won't.
Your hunch is probably right. It also doesn't matter, because Alan Simpson is no longer the voice.
Would have been nice if he said it when he was actually in the Senate.
Well, tacitly he did, because it wasn't as much a part of their, he was either the ranking member or the chairman at that time of the Judiciary Committee when Supreme Court justice nominees were coming before him, and he voted for people who were pro-choice, who were clearly pro-choice or would be on the bench. So, but what Ben says is true. I mean, it would be nice, A, if this were contagious, and B, if he were to sort of lead a charge. I have to think, and we'll wrap this story up in a second, but I have to think that, you see older guys like this who probably have big families and grandchildren. I'm guessing right now, but I
somebody is gay.
No, well, maybe somebody's gay, but somebody's talking. Somebody's minds change. Alan Simpson's a smart guy. He's probably listening to a lot of other Simpsons who are saying to him, Dad, why don't you, this is so frustrating. I want to be a Republican because you were a Republican. Grandpa, I want to be a Republican because you were a Republican, and we live in Wyoming, and I don't know any Democrats.
OJ is probably talking to him.
OJ,
Bart.
Althea. I mean, Bart is probably talking to him. Jessica. They're Simpsons all over the world, Wes. You're going to get it. You got it. You got it.
I got it.
All right, good. In any case, Ben makes a good point. It would be nice if this were sort of a theme, and that there were people that would jump in behind.
Because whoever the nominee is, man, this is a party sort of hostile to gays, as we know. It's sort of hostile to civil rights, and it's beyond. It's not just Rick Santorum.
Yeah.
In any way, easy to point to Rick Santorum, and God bless him for doing that.
Yeah.
Sort of that. You allow gay marriage. Eventually, you're going to allow man to marry dog. Rick Santorum is a hostile, aggressive, terrible guy. But this is a platform filled with hostile, terrible guys.
And you also support it. I mean, that's the thing. Right. Just by voting for Republican, you heard him say about Ronald Reagan, who said, "Stick with your folks," and he's going to have a hard time sticking with his folks, is what Simpson said. And I wish more people would say that.